Hi there, welcome to the YouTube channel and today's deck tech. Extus, Oriq, Overlord, 1 white and black for a 2/4, double striking human warlock, and has a magecraft ability, so whenever we cast an instant or sorcery, we get to return target non-legendary creature card from our graveyard to our hand. That's great, that's really nice, a little bit of reanimator. I'd be quite happy to play this as just a pure black and white reanimator deck, no issue with that, but it has a backside to it as well, and that's the sorcery, which is Awaken the Blood Avatar. 6 black and red for a sorcery that has an additional cost to cast this spell. You may sacrifice any number of creatures. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. That's quite nice. And then each opponent sacrifices a creature. Create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste, and whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. Now, I'm going to hold my hand up. I was building this deck and then one of the people on stream played it against me, so I've nicked a couple of their ideas. So thanks, Othros, but one of the other cards you played, Othros, is coming up on the deck tech next week, so keep your eyes out for that, and that will be dedicated to you because I was inspired by you. But this is my take on Extus, Oriq, Overlord. So get ready for today's deck tech. As usual, for one of my deck techs, start with the mana base. Now, I'm going to just put a little disclaimer in this whole video here and now. If you're looking at the cost of this deck at the moment, there's a deck link down below where hopefully you've also hit the subscribe button that's appeared over here. You will find out that the current cost of this deck as it stands that you're now going to go through is about $2 shy of $1,700. Okay, now the reason for that, there's a few cards in here that are ridiculously expensive and you can take out, and there's 4 that will drop it originally. So I am playing Badlands. A little bit further down in the deck I have Plateau and I have Scrubland, and obviously here I have Jeweled Lotus. If you take these 4 cards out, you will be saving yourself about $1,170 as prices stand at the moment. Just bear that in mind when we're going through this deck. I'm playing this on MTGO. On MTGO, this deck at the moment totals about 50 something tickets, so big difference, but that is purely because of how cheap the original lands are on here, and along with Jeweled Lotus and things, so bear that in mind. Anyway, the rest of the land base is all red, black and white lands, as you can imagine. I am playing Bajuka Bog just as a one-off because, I've noticed a few more decks that revolve around graveyards being played against me recently on MTGO, so I've decided Bajuka Bog comes in when I can play it. Field of the Dead's here, Exotic Orchard here, Fabled Passage is here. There's 3 mountains, 2 are plains, 2 swamps a little bit further down. All the dual lands. Savvy Triome, Nomad Outpost, the usual selection of things, Temple of the False God, plus Herbal Tome of Yagamoth just to back everything up. Artifact wise, I've gone heavy because we do want to be getting up to that sort of like 8 mana to cast our sorcery as soon as possible, our Extus, depending how we want to do it. So Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Jewel Lotus, Soul Ring, and then all of these lovely things down here. Arcane Signet and Fellwar Stone, I'll just mention separately. And then we've got the Signets for each colour pairing and the Talismans for each colour pairing. It's quite a lot of mana, but we need to be able to get things into play. Now, one thing I will point out about Extus before we go any further is the Magecraft. I have got a few creatures in here that have Magecraft in it that help trigger things. You don't have to play these, there probably are better choices, but I like Magecraft as an ability. I think it was quite a good one when Wizards designed it, so just so we're clear, we have got 19 creatures in the deck. We've got about 20 instants and sorceries, and everything else is either there's a couple of planeswalkers I'll get to, or it's going to be, that's it really, or artifacts, so bear it in mind. So here we go. First one, Path to Exile, lovely removal, recommending it. I did have a bit of a thing against it for a while where I preferred to play Swords to Plowshares, but I've just gone back to Path to Exile at the moment. For reasons, so many people playing Land Ramp, it doesn't really hurt, whereas the life gain does hurt. So I'll try and Path to Exile out again, but you can replace this with Swords to Plowshares if you want to. Corrupted Conviction, sack a creature. We like sacrificing creatures because we can return them, and then draw a couple of cards. Greedy Freebooter, when it dies we get to scry one and create a treasure token. And in theory, if you've sacked it as you played this instant, or when you play an instant source, you can get it back, and it's really easy to get back because it leaves the mana behind to do it with. Eager First Year is also here. Again, this is one of the Magecraft cards I want to play around with. I quite like this one. It gets a little bit bigger, so yeah, that's cool. Leonin Light Scribe is even better, especially with some of the creatures we have coming up, so it pumps our whole team up every time we play an instant sorcery. Have Server Expedition, so we can have some creatures in that way. Skrelv's Hive gives us some Phyrexian Mites. Yes, they can't block, and yes, they do Toxic, but they do give us a way of gaining life back, which could be useful with the next card, which is Bitter Blossom. So we get the Flying Fairy in as well. Go for the Throat. Pick any black and 1 removal spell that you want to play. I like Go for the Throat because it takes out most of the things I face at the moment. Plumb the Forbidden I bought in for my own sanity, really. I played a deck a while back when Strixhaven was in Standard that revolved around this and Sedgemoor Witch. I'm sure you all know what it does. So this is kind of my little throwback to that, plus the fact Sedgemoor Witch is in the deck, so yeah, we have got a way of gaining life with this, and drawing some cards is fun, even if we do lose life. Promise of Akolazoltals is one of the commander cards that have come in from Lost Caverns of Ixalan. 2 in a black for a sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a 4/3 black and vampire demon creature token with flying, and then when you have it in play at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, populate. We have a lot of ways of generating tokens. Populating 4/3s is quite good, I hear. Anyway, because we are sacrificing creatures left, right and centre, Zulaput Cutthroat is here. Firebrand Archer to deal some damage as we cast all our non-creature stuff. Goblin Bombardment just to ping people away when we need to. Keswick Flame Breath Breather, again, non-creature spells, points of damage everywhere. Tybalt's Trickery is just a fun one, a little red counter spell that people forget about. Yes, occasionally it does turn around and bite you, and they get to cast something that's a lot better than what they were casting, but hey ho, we'll risk it. Young Pyromancer's here. There's one of the token generators I was talking about. Obviously we all know what Pyromancer does, and yeah, elementals can be good. And Lightning Helix, bit of removal, bit of life gain if we need it. I still like this original artwork from the promo one. 3 drops. Monastery Mentor gives us more creatures. Bastion of Remembrance gives us a creature and then does a little bit of draining and gaining. Sedgemoor, which I've already mentioned. The pest creatures, having green creatures turn up in what is basically a Mardu deck is a bit weird, but at the end of the day, sorry, I had to think what colours black, white and red were then. Still, it's good fun. And it doesn't stop anything. Chaos Warp to deal with the annoying things. Gutter Snipe to get even more damage in as we cast our instants and sorceries. It's a red deck. Jessica's Will is here. Notice, by the way, 2 drops not playing Dockside Extortionist. Not necessary, I don't think, in this deck. Kea, Geist Hunter is the first of our Planeswalkers in the deck. The +1, I'm not sure why this card has not seen more play, to be honest, anywhere. +1, creatures you control gain Death Touch until the end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature token you control. We do have a lot of creature tokens in this deck, and this just fits in here so nicely, it's ridiculous. And then until the end of turn, if one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many tokens are created instead, which is even nicer. -6, exile all cards from all graveyards. Then create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with fly for each card exiled this way. If we can get this up to 6, we are winning the game very quickly. So yeah, but the +1 I thought was just enough to include it in the deck, beyond the other 2 abilities, which are lovely still. Speaking of things we like to sacrifice, here's Obnixilis, the adversary. If you're going to sacrifice creatures, you might get another copy of the Obnixilis in play. Bedevil gives us a bit of removal at instant speed for artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers. Lawhold Pledge Mage does the whole Magecraft thing. Whenever you cast, it gets bigger, and it's got first strike, so it becomes very hard to block if we do all our instants before we go to combat. Crackling Doom, just a nice way of dealing 2 damage to each opponent and then making them sacrifice the biggest creature they have. And Mardu Charm, 4 damage to a creature, some 1/1 warriors with first strike, and can do some discarding if we want to. It's probably the first 2 abilities we're going to use the most. The last one really irrelevant unless someone's on 1 card and you think it's their win card, take it out that way. Anointed Procession, because we're creating tokens, we might as well double them up. Yeah, Smothering Tide is probably one of the reasons I'm not playing Dockside. I decided to try and try not to play them both together. I'm not going to say it's never going to happen, but if we've got Dockside in and there's white in the deck, we'll probably ignore Smothering Tithe some of the time going forward. Pitless Plunderer, another way of getting treasure tokens, which I completely forgot about from Rivals of Ixalan until I searched on treasure tokens. Oh, creatures dying. Yeah, whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. Especially if you're raid bombarding things, it's very nice. Damnation gives a bit of board control. Mizzix's Mastery eventually lets us replay all our instants and sorceries from the graveyard, so we'll overload it. Stormkiln Artist lets us have treasure tokens every time we cast an instant or sorcery, and gets +1/+0 for each artifact we control, so this can get big very quickly. Decadent Dragon, I still like the artwork on this one, I'm not changing it. But exiling the top 2 cards of target opponent's library and then having the dragon attacking for treasure tokens is just fantastic. And it sits so well along Maniform Hellkite, who gives us all those dragon illusion creatures with haste when we cast non-creature spells. Double Vision is here just so we can double up on our instants and sorceries the first time we cast a spell each turn and choose new targets. Assemble the Legion just gives us another way of generating tokens every turn. Quatorius Canned, the Planeswalker that's been used in a lot of combo decks since Discover became a thing. Yeah, whatever. We're just going to play it here just to get the spirit tokens, also do the -3 Discover 4. That's fine. Got no issue with that. And obviously, if we're going to have one version of Quatorius, we might as well have the other version, his original pre-Planeswalker version. At the beginning of your end step, exile target non-creature, non-land card from your graveyard and create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. Now, we will be careful with this because there are some things we don't want to get sacrificed, like instants. So we want to make sure there's things we don't mind losing in our graveyard, because otherwise it's a bit of a downer with Mizzix's Mastery. But it does attract a lot, and I do mean a lot, of attention when you play this card, because people do try and kill him off quite quickly. So maybe it won't be such a bigger issue. 6 drops. Ancient Copper Dragon is another card you can drop if you're trying to build this in real life. I think it's about $60 at the moment. I've got one on MTGO, so I'm playing it. Ojar, Tagic, if we're going to make tokens, let's make even more tokens, especially creature ones. Professor Onyx, it's got Magecraft. When we cast instants sorceries, each opponent loses 2, we gain 2, and then we can do a little bit of life, lose 1 life, look at the top 3, put 1 into our hand, the rest into our graveyard. I cope with that. And Chaotic Transformation, just fun for me. Target artifact, target a token, target an enchantment, target a planeswalker, target a land. Get them all away, put all the whole new stuff into play, and I just love playing Chaotic Transformation, and this is just an excuse to play it today. Blood Money gives us a way of blowing up the board again and gives us a whole load of treasures. Breach the Multiverse I thought was a bit of a gamble. I had 1 slot left, I could have gone something for a bit more thing, but Breach the Multiverse is just fun, really, so yay. And the last 3 are all X spells. Song of Totentanus, it gives us the rat tokens. Gerard's Belligerence gives us X damage as you choose among any number of target creatures, and whenever a creature dealt damage this way this turn dies. Populate. So, if we've managed to get our... wherever it's gone. Nope, lost it. The one I was talking about earlier. That one, there you go. Got a whole load of demons in play, and we play this. Get even more flying demons, like that plan. And then Wildfire Awakener. Yeah, I think I've said it a few times now. Whenever I'm playing red and white at the moment, this card is appearing in the deck. You can convoke it, you can get the elementals. It's just great. It's lovely. And that is it. That is my take on Extus, Oriq Overlord for the time being, along with the Awakening of Blood Avatar. There's some cards you can probably play. The medallions do fit in the deck. I've avoided them today because otherwise I was running out of space for other things. But if there's anything that's majorly different, let me know down below in the comments. Hopefully I will be playing this on stream. This will be up on Thursday, so late Wednesday evening, Thursday morning if you're watching this side of the pond, the UK side of the pond, Wednesday evening if you're watching in stateside. And you'll see me play on Thursday evening, so I will play this probably as the first deck I play on Thursday night stream. So there's a link to the stream down below. Hopefully you've hit the subscription button down here. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back next week with some more videos. Take care. See you soon. Bye.